The man discovered he had a brain tumor and that it was untreatable. Unable to bring himself to tell his wife the truth, he decided to clone himself to stay with his family in his place. When Cameron met the clone for the first time, he was still shocked, despite being mentally prepared by how identical it looked to him. The same facial features, skin tone, even the way it felt to the touch. He hesitated, afraid of being replaced and forgotten, and at one point refused to let the clone take his place. But after returning home, his wife placed his hand on her belly to feel the movement of their soon-to-be-born second child. Feeling the life growing inside, he realized he couldn't let his wife and children suffer the blow of losing him. He called the cloning agency and said he had changed his mind. The memory transfer began. As the chair slowly reclined, Cameron gradually drifted into unconsciousness. In his sleep, fragments of his life memories flashed rapidly, awkward moments when he first met his wife, the sweetness of their romance, the joy of his son's birth, laughter, and frustration. When he recalled the image of his wife sobbing over her brother's death, he suddenly woke up. This was the memory he least wanted to relive. Even as just a memory, it left him deeply unsettled. The transfer was now complete. Before being officially replaced, Cameron wanted to return home one last time, but the clone was worried. What if Cameron's symptoms returned in front of his wife, ruining everything? Looking at the only mark that distinguished the two of them, the clone grew anxious and stabbed a pencil into his palm, praying silently. Watching the familiar home through the contact lens camera, the clone saw Cameron arrive at the doorstep, gaze at his wife cooking in the kitchen, then suddenly collapse, dizzy. What he feared most had happened. His heart leapt into his throat, and the video feed cut off. Luckily, Cameron had fallen downstairs and out of sight. He struggled to his car, turned to look back at his wife, knowing that even a final moment together was now out of reach. After being taken back to the facility, Cameron remained unconscious. To prevent his wife from getting suspicious, the female doctor had the clone return home in his place and sent a text under Cameron's name, saying he had slipped in the bathroom and would come home the next day. The next morning, the clone opened the front door to his worried wife. He didn't force any behavior, just stepping into the house and seeing her, he instinctively knew what to do. As soon after, Cameron woke up and learned that the clone had returned home. At first, he was furious, but he quickly calmed down. It was clearly the most logical solution. He went to the monitoring room and saw his son chatting happily with the clone, his wife nestled in the clone's arms. They were getting along well. It made Cameron want to cry, but he knew this might be the best outcome. He knew the clone would do better, would help his wife let her guard down. But over time, the clone began removing the monitor more and more frequently, and Cameron started to feel uneasy, unable to rest easy. Cameron sneaked back home and saw the clone's detailed paintings and the traces of warm everyday life. Only then did he realize he had misunderstood him. The clone saw the resolve in Cameron's eyes and knew it was time for a proper goodbye. Cameron put on the clone's clothes, took the wedding ring, said goodbye to his son for the last time, and gave his wife one final hug. In the end, he let everything go and quietly awaited death at the cloning facility, having accepted that the clone would take his place to ensure his family's happiness. Though painful, it was the best possible ending.